Hey everybody, my name is Megan Terrell and we're sitting here in my salon and I'm a friend of Jeremy and Erica Kisling and Beth Ann's too. And they asked me to talk to you a little bit about self-esteem, self-worth, and self-image. And the reason is this topic is very near and dear to my heart. I struggled really a lot with both the good and the bad on this topic. Um, I guess it's not a struggle if it was good, but um, I had some pretty extreme moments in my life where I felt like I wasn't good enough, and I struggled a lot with my self worth. So I wouldn't say that this is a topic that's just for high school girls. It's for women in general, and um, to be a little bit more specific, because I could go on and expound on so many different things that I want to talk to you about. I really want to try to just stick to beauty. And there is Satan's version of beauty and there's God's version of beauty. And if we can unpack those differences, we can learn a little bit more about who we are. And I think we're in a culture and a time where we're all trying to figure out who we are, and it's this big journey. And the problem with that is everyone is seeking in all the wrong places, and they're listening to the lies instead of the words of love. So let's just take a look a little bit at these two different things, and why I want to talk about beauty and women is you know, that we are wired different than men, and we're wonderfully wired different from men. But like men, we reflect God, and our femininity is just one of those aspects. And I think beauty is a big part of that. Um, so let's look at what God has to say and what the Bible has to say. Like when we look at women that God has used and worked through to help further the kingdom, um, these women have usually experienced adventure. They usually have a deeper or sometimes new relationships. We're very relational. And these women bring beauty back into a dark place, and they give life, sometimes spiritually or physically, or both. Um, and so these women are able to further the kingdom in ways that men just simply cannot, which is really kind of cool. So I love this quote here I have by Stacey Eldridge, and it says, "You really won't understand your life as a woman until you understand this. You are passionately loved by the God of this universe, and you are passionately hated by the enemy." So the enemy has twisted the definition of beauty, and he's come to confuse um, what beauty was meant to be. Is often in our culture abused, idolized, assaulted, perverted, distorted, used incorrectly, associated with shame, or just plain unachievable. Um, for me, I've allowed Satan to influence me, and I've allowed him to tell me that I was beautiful in a worldly sense, and that I was not beautiful in the worldly sense. I was never enough. I was too much or not enough. And Satan told me that beauty is skinny or a certain body shape. So I struggled a little bit with an eating disorder, and then I would overwork out, and that was kind of like my my idol. It was my focus. It was my goal to be, this, something that was basically unachievable. Satan also told me that I didn't have the body shape. So I just didn't look right. So my makeup was my mask, and all the Spanx and push-up bras in the world just wasn't getting me, to where I wanted to be, but it made it better, so I wouldn't leave the house, wouldn't go without those things. Satan actually told me that beauty is blonde. So, funny enough, I tried to go blonde, and it was not a good look. um, Satan told me that beauty is sexy and will bring me power to have over men. And there were times when I felt like I failed at that because I didn't have a boyfriend, or the right guy didn't like me, and no matter what I did. And then other times I would achieve those relationships. I would lure them in, and I ended up having a lot of guilt over what I did to lure those men. And of course, it was a very, the relationship was fleeting, and it just hurt me more. And I began to believe these lies in a more deeper, intimate way. Speaking of, fleeting, let's look at what God says about beauty. Just a couple of my favorite verses on this subject is 1 Samuel 16:7. God sees not as man sees. For man looks at outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And then Proverbs 31:30. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So I want to be that woman. And I'm sure you do too. Satan didn't so much speak these other things to me, but sometimes he says these other things to women, that you're to be ashamed of the beauty that you have, because it's all men want, and men want to abuse your beauty. Sometimes Satan says,